Okay, so I got some exhaust manifolds off the car that I want to header wrap. But before I want to header wrap them, I want to get them cleaned up and do a clear coat on them. It's just to keep them from rusting before we do the header wrap. Now we started off by sandblasting them, and the sandblasting didn't get them quite as clean as we thought, and it's taking a little bit too long. So we kind of stopped halfway through. Thanks to Chad for doing the sandblasting for me. If it was going better, I would have let it, like, he could have just finished and it would have been perfect, but we're going to try something a little different here. So I opted to go, picked up some muriatic acid and a plastic tub. Make sure you get a plastic tub, a metal tub, the acid can eat through it, and then you'll have muriatic acid everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour the 3 liters that I got into the tub, then we're going to get the manifolds in there. Of course, make sure you get a tub that your manifolds actually fit in. Well, looks like I'd eat my own words there because I went to shove both manifolds in this bin and it instantly broke it, so get an even bigger bin. Now I'm pretty sure this stuff comes sealed up in a bag. I can already smell it. So make sure you're doing it with the door open or in a good ventilation. And I think you want to put gloves on too, especially when you're handling it. I can already smell this stuff. Ooh, it's wild. I might have to take it outside again. Okay, so this stuff is potent. You're pretty well going to have to do this outside. I mean, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's steam just rolling off this stuff. I just can't even breathe standing nearby it. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for, hopefully this stuff doesn't freeze. It's really cold out. But I'm going to let that sit for a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'll come back over and I'll give them a little rotate. Okay, it's been just about 20 minutes. You definitely don't want to get too close to these things. But let's see if I can give an example here after 20 minutes of soaking. This manifold was not sandblasted. Holy man, you can't get close to that to breathe at all. But you can see that rust is almost all gone in that one spot. So it seems to be working really good. Hey, I'm going to see if I can give him a rotate without dying. So good. I think I'll give him a good half an hour this time like that. And then I will rotate again, then half an hour, rotate again, half an hour until it's all the way around. Alright, been another half an hour here. Now if you're going to do this, I would totally say you should go and get a mask before you get started. Because this stuff is rank even outside here. It's just wild. But I want to give him another flip. And I'll flip it this way. That's the way I've been rotating it. You can see this is the one that wasn't sandblasted. It is bare metal. This one was not sandblasted. Look at it. It is right bare metal. So that's working really good. And without a mask on, I cannot get close to that container even outside here. Even from here, I can still smell it and it's taking my breath away. So it's definitely potent and definitely works. So I'm going to let them soak another half an hour like that. And it looks like there's some rust spots on them that it might not take off. But we'll wash them up after this. And then I'll show you them all finished and cleaned up. Okay, so a bit of an update here. They're looking really good. Like it's working so good it's not even funny. Like look at them. They're both just bare metal right now. There's a little bit of rust on them still. And I can still smell that being that potent. I was kind of bored waiting for them to soak in it, so I was doing some googling, and I guess you're supposed to dilute the acid with water. So I mean, like, who would have guessed? But guess I should have done my research first, but who cares, whatever, no big deal really. It also says don't pour water into the acid, pour acid into the water, but I mean, we're way too far gone for that, so let's just go ahead and dump this water into this acid and see what happens, or record it, so if like something crazy happens, it'll be kind of cool to watch. Ooh, lots of smoke coming off her. So now I guess... Oh, now you can really smell it again. I just stirred it. Now it's really gonna soak. So now they're completely buried. Holy man, that stuff smells wild. They also said you could do some scrubbing. I mean, like, I'd love to take it inside and scrub them, but that ain't happening. So I'm going to let them soak, probably until they turn into an ice block. Hopefully they don't. I'll just keep watching it now. So far, basically, when I was soaking them in the straight acid, I guess, for a recap now, I did 1 hour aside in pure acid, and that was working really good. I should have just put, it was 10 to 1, 10 parts water, 1 part acid to dilute it, and I should have did that off the start, and it would have been full like you see right now. I put 3 liters of muriatic acid in there, and I did not put 30 liters of water in because obviously it won't fit. So, but I mean, I'm gonna let them soak like that now for an hour, and then I'm gonna pull them out of there and see. Maybe I'll try pull them out, take them inside, give them a quick scrub, and then put them back in for a while. Actually, maybe I'll do that right now. I'll give them like 20 minutes, and then I'll check on them and see. Okay, so I just diluted the water, and I decided that I'm gonna bring them out here and give them a little hit with the wire brush. This is the one that got sandblasted before. It's really clean. I actually did just take a video of the one that didn't get sandblasted, and it looks very similar to this. Like, it's not far off at all. But for some reason the camera screwed up and it didn't take. Thanks a lot, Samsung. So I'm going to give this thing a quick wire brush over. You can kind of see that. And then I'm going to dip them back in that solution with it diluted so they're fully submerged. And I'm going to let them sit in there for another hour or maybe 2 hours tops. And then I'm going to pull them out and let them dry off. And then... Okay, so I got them the rest of the way cleaned up here. There was still some of the thicker, like bigger flakes of rust that was stuck to them. So I just went with a grinder and I kind of grinded those out to get their pretty well just all bare metal. Then I went ahead with a cutoff wheel and I just cut off all those little tabs that stuck out for the factory heat shields. Just so when I wrap the exhaust wrap on them later, then there's bumps aren't going to be sticking out. It's going to wrap that much nicer. So I'm going to hit them with some of this VHT. It's supposed to be good up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. 3 coats, all within an hour. And then you let it fully dry. And then to cure it, it's it's a 3-stage step where you bake them in an oven. I'm going to try bake them at home in the barbecue. So yeah, I'm going to get this on them, let them dry, and then I'll take them home tonight. And we'll see if we can get them to bake up in the barbecue there and get them cured. This is just a clear coat. The only reason why I want it on there is just to keep it from rusting underneath the header wrap. So, all right, so I got all the coats done. So I ended up doing 4 coats of clear within 1 hour time frame, 10 minutes between coats. Now I'm just gonna let them dry. It takes 1 hour for it to dry to the touch, and it takes 3 hours to dry to handle. So I'm gonna give them their 3 hours, and then we're gonna start heating up the barbecue. Okay, so we got the barbecue at 300 degrees. We're supposed to have it at 250, but this will work. Keep the camera over here, bud. Looks like supper or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I turn it?
No, we don't turn it up till after. Okay, let's wait. No, we already did that. Okay, we'll let it sit for half an hour, and then we gotta let it cool down for half an hour. Okay, so she held 250 just like we wanted. One hand. Hold that. What do you think? They're medium rare?
Yeah, I think they're burnt.
Hey, they look pretty good. Can you show it? Don't touch, it's hot. Looks pretty good, eh? Okay, let's bring them inside for a cool off for half an hour. All right, next step, 400. It's a little high at 450, so I'm just gonna turn these down a bit. I've already got them back in there. They're looking great. So 400, half an hour, cool off half an hour. Then the last step is 650. Okay, so we held a little over 400. And they are looking tasty. Okay, I'll get these babies out. Throw 30 minutes on the timer, let them cool off. And then I will get this thing cranked up to 650. And we'll do that last and final bake, and we should be good to go. All right, this last go here, just getting 550 on it. I should have came out here and cranked them up before, but I didn't. So I got them cranked wide open now. Hopefully it holds 650 with them in there. 30 minutes. and then we'll come back and check on them, and that's going to be completed. All right, so we got all the stages done, and this is what we ended up with. It's smooth to the touch, like real smooth. And it got some funky colors going on here. It's almost a copper color in some spots, and then it's real dark in the other spots. You can definitely tell it's got that coating on there. So, yeah, should be good. So now we're going to take that, and we're going to turn it into this. Okay, so I went ahead and got this one done already. I just use hose clamps on it. Pretty simple process. There's tons of header wrap videos on YouTube if you want to just go look them up. But to get you started on the basics, we're going to start at the small end and work our way out. First thing you want to do is fold the header wrap in half and then come around and go over with it. That way it'll help hold itself in place that much better. And the other thing to note is there's always a stitched edge. And that stitched edge is supposed to go towards the collector, say if it was a header, in this case our flange. Lots of guys will say do a 1/4 inch overlap. This manifold's weird, so I'm just wrapping them like crazy. It's hard to get the wrap around it all the way. So like for that, I'll go there, and then I'll try to come back up with it. It's going to be real hard to do that because on this manifold there's no raised portion right there, it's just right flat. Then I'm going to wrap the mid pipes as well. Trying to end do the end of it in there. And then one thing I like to do at the end is I'm just going to fold them into a point like that, and then I'll clamp it, and then that clamp will hold them in. The header wrap I'm using is from Performance World. Maybe I'll be in the market for some aftermarket manifolds. See how this looks. See how much room I got in there with the manifolds flipped. I haven't had the motor in there to mock it up with the manifolds flipped yet, so I don't even know how much room I have in there. If maybe I can go to something aftermarket or even make some custom headers, I might just look at doing that. I'll test fit these on the motor and we'll see. But other than that, turned out pretty nice. Muriatic acid worked really good. That high temp coating worked really good. So at the very least, we'll have a set of pretty paperweights. All right, that's it for this one.